Hello everyone. We begin a press conference after a bilateral meeting between NATO's Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Alexis Gregory Grinkevich, and the Lithuanian Minister of Defense, Ms. Dovilė Šakalienė. We also have Lithuania's Chief of Defense, General Raimundas Vaikšnoras, present at the conference. We'll have time for questions after the statements, and both of the speakers will take 2 questions each. The opening statement belongs to Minister Šakalienė.
So hello everyone. Since we agreed that we are going to have this press conference in English, so I'll just make my initial points in English. First of all, really thank you for being here, General. We really appreciate that. This is a difficult time for all of us, and what happened in Poland, of course, understandably raised a certain level of anxiety in Lithuania as well. Every one of us on the eastern flank are facing certain risk every single night. So your support and our joint work is really what matters to make our society safer, to make the eastern border of the alliance safer. We discussed with the Supreme Allied Commander certain measures that we've taken nationally, also certain measures that could be taken additionally on the NATO scope. And also, of course, we discussed a bit the force posture of United States troops, because that is something that we all are very much concerned about. So regarding national measures, just to remind what we've done from our side, because homework is also what matters, and what we need to do first of all before asking anything of anyone else. So we significantly shortened decision-making and authorized military to intercept and neutralize targets, and prepared our legislation that could enable safe conduct of NATO forces in the sky without any fear to damage civilian objects in the yet peacetime. We have started national operation to increase detection of threats on the lower altitudes, and deployed air defense units supported by mobile groups from the land forces to increase the protection of our eastern border. And we worked on the additional procurement package to increase capabilities to detect and intercept drones, which will amount to additional €500 million. Regarding air defense, we discussed about perception shift from air policing to air defense. And we, from Lithuania's side, we have prepared a position paper, and I'm hoping to discuss it right after our press conference with my colleagues, the 3 Baltic defense ministers. We are going to have a VTC about that, because we feel that it is time to go from air policing to air defense and have additional capabilities and a different concept. So I presented the Lithuanian position that NATO should conduct air defense mission in our region, and I'm really hoping for certain assessment and certain measures if that would be possible. Of course, it needs additional capabilities such as ground-based air defense assets, sensors, and effectors. We discussed also with Secure on the additional deployment of sensors to better detect drones, and we are working on that matter with our allies. Hopefully we will have some results soon. NATO is ready to support national and regional efforts with a wide range of options, starting with already enhanced intelligence and detection sharing to the future deployments of additional assets and joint specialized exercises aimed to address the new types of threats. And this demonstrates Secure's precise and forward-looking understanding of the situation. We are extremely grateful for that. NATO posture management in the context of Zapad exercises and new evolving threats is adequately addressing the situation. So we just have to keep the pace and support Secure with timely political decisions from our side. And then, considering the second hat that Secure is wearing, the United States, so we discussed our position regarding the posture of United States troops in Lithuania in particular, and on the eastern flank in general. I presented the perception of the deterrent factor of United States troops that it has in Lithuania. It's crucial here to deter Russia, and Lithuania, of course, is providing a great host nation support, so we are hoping to see Secure, if his schedule will allow, in the opening of a new infrastructure for United States troops shortly.
Well, thank you, Minister, and thank you, General, for hosting me here today. It's a real honor to be here on my first visit to Lithuania as Supreme Allied Commander Europe, especially on September 11th. As we remember the events of that day, it's also important to recall what happened in the days that followed. For the first and only time in NATO's history, allies invoked Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, our collective defense clause. Allies made clear that they stood with the United States on that dark day, and they responded to the immediate need in the days after the attack, deploying air capabilities to help defend America's skies. And while Lithuania was not yet a member of NATO at the time, your commitment to our collective defense was clear as you were among the first to join us in the war on terrorism. And today, Lithuania is a model ally, a strong ally, and a true friend. You are committed to us, and we are committed to you. You recognize that Article 3 of the North Atlantic Treaty is just as important as Article 5. You recognize national and collective resilience is a foundation for credible deterrence and defense. This strength is vital for safeguarding our people. I'd like to take a moment to talk about your commitments. Lithuania is a leader in defense spending, investing over 4% of GDP, and you're not stopping there. NATO welcomes your recent decision to invest 5 to 6% of GDP in defense from 2026 to 2030. This is an example that this sets an example for all of our allies and sends a strong message to any potential adversary. Lithuania also contributes to NATO Mission Iraq and the NATO Security and Assistance and Training Mission for Ukraine. And I welcome that Lithuania has decided to increase its troop contribution to KFOR in Kosovo. You've purchased dozens of the latest Leopard tanks from Germany, Lithuania's largest defense procurement to date. And you plan to scale up Lithuania's land forces to deliver a mechanized division and 3 brigades. This will deliver real capability to the alliance. In light of recent events, it's also worth highlighting your work on the political front within the alliance. Your actions have allowed NATO to act as we did decisively in the southern border of Poland in recent days, ensuring the right authorities and rules of engagement were in place. So thank you for that political leadership as well. And just as you are committed to us, we are committed to you. NATO land forces forward, led by Germany, with additional contributions from Belgium, Czechia, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Norway, are here and growing. Germany will permanently station a brigade in Lithuania. This is a major step to strengthen our deterrence and defense on the eastern flank of the alliance. Thank you for hosting these forces and for all you do to host American forces here as well. Our NATO Force Integration Unit here, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, stands ready to facilitate the rapid deployment of additional NATO forces to the region should they be necessary. And NATO's air policing mission, which I again thank you for hosting, provides further protection. Currently, F-200 Typhoons from Spain and Hungarian Jazz 39 Gripens out of Calais fill this mission. They're under the control of Allied Air Command's Combined Operations Center in Germany. Italian F-35s in Estonia are also capable of supporting here in Lithuania or elsewhere. And we're working together closely to protect our population from drones. Following the drone crash in Lithuania in August and at my direction, Allied Air Command dispatched a team here last month to assess air defenses and provide recommendations back to me. As a result, Allied Air Command is now providing the Lithuanian Control and Reporting Center greater indications and warnings of aerial launches against Ukraine, which could cross into Lithuania. Allied Air Command is aligning this work with Lithuania's national air defense effort, Vilnius Shield, which allows for better integration and deconfliction should NATO assets be required to respond. And Minister, I'd like to personally thank you for the work you did at the political level in your aggressive efforts to ensure that NATO forces have the authorities to engage in defense of Lithuanian airspace and the airspace of the alliance if necessary. We've tested this integration. We did it once last month when Lithuania's Crisis Response Center received a shared picture from NATO during a major Russian attack against Ukraine and passing the alert levels that we were setting in Poland. And of course, this was again tested the night before last. Based on the lessons from these events, we're going to continue to work to improve our ability to defend every single inch of Alliance airspace. Thank you again. I look forward to our continued work together to strengthen the Alliance and to defend the Euro-Atlantic area and its 1 billion people. I'm happy to take some questions.
Thank you, General. Time for questions. All right, let's start with Martina.
Thank you, Martina Pikalita, news agency ELTA. I have a question to Mr. Grinkiewicz. So, following the incident in Poland, President Nausėda encouraged to implement a rotational air defense model as agreed at the Vilnius summit. How do you rate the possibilities of implementing this model, and what do you think about the idea of having a Baltic Sentry type of mission for air defense on the eastern flank? Thank you.
Now, thank you for that question. The rotational air defense model is one that has a lot of my attention, and that I think, given the events in Poland and the other incursions here in the Baltic states, it's very important to use this as an opportunity for allies to step forward and commit capabilities to that model. I also in our discussions, we talked about the need to move from an air policing model to a broader defensive model and an integrated air and missile defense model that has the air mission and ground-based defense brought closer together. We do this in some areas of the Alliance very well, but we need to do more work on it. So I look forward to working on that moving forward.
All right, thank you. Makaris over there.
Hello, Vakaris Vingilis, Baltic News Service. Dear Minister, the German newspaper Bild reported that 2 flying objects violated Lithuanian airspace on Wednesday. Can you confirm that NATO radars detected 2 incursions into the country's airspace at 10 a.m. yesterday? Was it because of this possible incident that NATO fighter jets on police mission were scrambled? What kind of object it was, planes or drones?
So maybe I'll answer that in Lithuanian. Is it okay? Kadangi su manimi yra kariuomenės vadas, tai galėsiu suteikti daugiau detalių. Esminis dalykas yra tai, kad mes turime dabar padidintą budrumą ir ne vieną kartą kyla naikintuvai, vertindami bet kokį galimą objektą ir po to yra atliekamas vertinimas. Tai jeigu vadas norėtų pridėti.
Tai sveiki visi. Iš tikrųjų dabar padidintas jautrumas, kaip ir ministras minėjo, mes kiekvieną atvejį, kuris galimai galėtų mums nurodyti, kad tai yra kažkokie skrendantys objektai, imamės visų priemonių, kad būtų pakelti naikintuvai, jeigu tai įmanoma. Ir šiuo konkrečiu atveju, apie kurį jūs minate, Bild, aš nežinau, iš kur jie paėmė tą informaciją, bet aš nelabai galiu komentuoti gandų. Mes galim tik tai pasakyti, kad mes šiai dienai organizuojam savo gynybą, mūsų priemonėm, kurios yra, stebėjimą ir, aišku, žiūrime labai intensyviai, kas vyko Lenkijoje.
Mes patikrinome visus signalus ir nebuvo fiksuota jokių objektų.
Tyčyge, Vaidai, kuris jau čia norit pirmas.
Vaidas Saldžiūnas, Delphi. General Grinkiewicz, question for you regarding the drone incursions. Now, it's been confirmed that not only Polish Air Force, but also Allied aircraft have been engaged in that operation. If I'm correct, also under NATO command. So can you give us a bit of a picture how exactly did that work? Was that a Polish request that evening? What was your role in that operation? Did you give the green light? Was that something part of the previous pre-delegated powers to the SACEUR that you would have more flexibility in those situations before Article 4 is involved in the NAC? And secondly, regarding the messaging that you mentioned yourself, that every inch of NATO will be defended. It's an adamant phrase by NATO, repeated again and again, but now you have 300 kilometers of drones flying into the NATO territory, which is about 12 million inches, quite a lot of inches. And the aircraft have engaged the drones with the very expensive missiles, which alone, or a few of them, cost more than all the drones combined. Even if we count the risks that cannot be allowed to take, the costs would be too great not engaging. You have 4 out of 19 drones successfully engaged, which is about 20% success rate. Is that sort of satisfy you as an F-16 pilot yourself and as a SAC-cure in a situation? And again, well, how would you message Russia at this point that such occasions will not occur ever again? Because now they can send 20 more drones, 50 more drones, and you will have to engage them the same way. What of it?
Thanks. A good series of questions. And the first thing that I'll start with is NATO had the authorities. We had the rules of engagement in place. No one needed to call me because of the authorities that SACUR has and the further delegation of those authorities. So down at the aircrew level and at the tactical level, our aircrew, our alliance aircrew, did exactly what they were supposed to do, which was defend alliance territory. And that should give everyone a ton of confidence about the importance by which Allied Command operations and I myself take this mission to defend our airspace. I don't hold it at my level. By the time they get me on the phone, the fight will be over. But I trust Alliance aircrew and Alliance forces to execute that mission every single day. And we'll do the same anytime something is coming toward Alliance territory. It was well executed. I'm sure there are lessons that we'll learn that can make us better, but it was very well executed. I'm very proud of our team that did this. You mentioned the challenge of the geography and the space and the volume of drones that we could face. We are learning a lot of lessons from the war in Ukraine about how to handle these challenges. The air policing mission that we have in Poland is one of our enhanced vigilance activities that's been in place since 2022. SACUR has been given this responsibility. And we've continued to refine these procedures and ensure that we could execute with the professionalism that we did yesterday. Looking forward, there's absolutely more to be done. There are enhancements to weaponry that allow us to get to a lower cost per engagement that nations have been experimenting with, and will certainly continue to push that with all of the nations in the alliance, all 32, to build ground-based capability and air-based capability that gets us on the correct side of the cost curve. But when you're an operational commander and you have a capability and there's an attack or an incursion into your airspace, the cost of the weapon doesn't matter at that moment in time. You're going to use it to defend our population, and I'm very proud of our people who did.
All right, Žygimantas, yeah. I'll break the protocol and give one more.
Žygimantas Abromaitis, Lithuanian national broadcaster. Sir, as a pilot yourself, you've mentioned right now that any missile, anything that works should be done and prepared to basically destroy any enemy target which incurs into our territory. But since there were like 20 drones, and my colleague mentioned like, what if there will be 50, 100 drones, a swarm of drones? Do NATO has abilities and capabilities to neglect such swarms and bigger obstacles? Because we definitely know that a fighter jet has like 4 to 6 missiles, and it's not enough to neglect such many of drones. And if there is a possibility, of that attack, so what are the options for you?
So a couple of things on the particular drone attack or the drone incursion for context. We do not yet know if this was an intentional act or an unintentional act. And I would also have low confidence in any numbers that you've heard of the number of drones. These are the number of sensors that we have, overlapping tracks. As we try to account for that and go into the technical details, we'll get a better understanding of how many there were. But I would not be able to tell you with any confidence today that it was 20 or that it was 10. We just have to get into the technical details to just figure that out, to debrief the crews that were up, see what they saw, etc. Anytime you're using aircraft to defend against a drone attack like this, and I've got a fair amount of experience from this from my time in the Middle East, you have to make choices about which drones to intercept and which ones not to, based on the number of aircraft you have airborne. If something is going out into a field, you might let it go versus it's heading toward an airfield that's critical to your combat operations. So I'm confident that the aircrew and the forces made the right decisions about what they could do with the resources that they had. But we will learn lessons. We will learn of things that we need to enhance our posture to handle these limited incursions. Now, switching to the second part of your question, if there were large drone swarms that were coming at us on a daily basis, there's no doubt in my mind if we experience a drone swarm of hundreds, that is not an accident, that is not an incursion, that would be an attack against alliance territory. In that case, you're looking at the activation of plans and the flow of additional capabilities into Allied Command operations and under SACEUR that we would deploy forward to help manage that. I won't get into the details of what our strengths and weaknesses are with that, but in the event of an armed attack and an Article 5 invocation, a lot more things would start to happen, and it would be a very different ball game, as we would say in American English. Thank you.
All right, Mindaugas.
Aš paklausiu lietuviškai, ministrė, jums klausimas arba vadas, jeigu pakviesite papildyti. Ar galite vis dėlto patikslinti dėl vakarykščių įvykių, kas buvo? Mes gavome žinią, kad buvo pakelti NATO naikintuvai atlikti užduotį. Ko gero, darau prielaidą, kad po kažkokio gauto signalo jie buvo pakelti į orą. Kaip dėl to signalo, ar Baltarusiai iš tiesų informavo mus apie kažkokias galimas grėsmes, nes vakar jūs nedetalizavote, ir paminėjote, jog nebuvo fiksuoti oro erdvės pažeidimai, bet jau pasirodė pranešimai, kad lygtais po pietų gerokai ministerijoje nemažai institucijų susirinko aptarti galimo oro erdvės pažeidimo. Galite patvirtinti, buvo toks susitikimas, nebuvo, ir jeigu buvo, kas buvo aptarta?
Tai atskirsiu gal šitą klausimą į dvi dalis. Tai pirmas dalykas dėl Baltarusijos. Visi turbūt žinome, kad tai nėra mūsų partnerė arba sąjungininkė. Tai nekomentuosime Baltarusijos pusės pareiškimų dėl bendradarbiavimo. Nei patvirtinsime, nei paneigsime. Kalbant apie reagavimą į oro erdvės pažeidimus, tai nebent vadas norėtų dar papildyti, bet esmė yra tokia. Kaip ir sakiau, mes keliame dabar periodiškai į orą naikintuvus, reaguodami į bet kokius signalus, ir tai vyksta iš principo dabar kasdien.
Jo, kad būtų šiek tiek aiškiau, vakar 3 kartus netgi buvo pakilę reaguoti į bet kokias, ar tai būtų meteorologiniai, ar galiu tik tai pasakyti, kad nieko nebuvo fiksuota, todėl neturim ką komentuoti. Kad tyrimai vyksta, kad stebime, kas galėtų būti, tai faktas tai yra nuotolinė, nuolatinis būsena, kaip ir visam planavime ir informacijos dalinimasi. Tai gal tiek.
Dėl susitikimo, tai turbūt patys suprantate, kad bendradarbiavimas tarp institucijų yra kritiškai svarbus. Ir tai, kad mes dabar turime ženkliai geriau veikiantį algoritmą ir sąveiką tarp institucijų, taip pat padeda mums greičiau reaguoti. Tai šioje situacijoje vidaus reikalų ministerijos, krašto apsaugos ministerijos, užsienio reikalų ministerijos bendradarbiavimas tiek formuojant bendras pozicijas, tiek reaguojant į mums kylančias grėsmes ir kintant iš šių grėsmių paveikslą yra kritiškai svarbu. Dar kartą noriu paminėti, kad vakar turėjau telefoninį pokalbį su savo kolega Lenkijos gynybos ministru. Su juo kaip tik aptarėme tai, ką ir šiandien vyriausiam sąjungininkų pajėgų Europoje vadui minėjau, ir apie tai diskutavome, kaip galėtų atrodyti galbūt arba formatas kaip Baltic Sentry tipo misija, kuri būtų skirta oro gynybai rytų flango pasienyje, arba kaip galėtų būti transformuota oro policijos misija į oro gynybos misiją. Ir kaip ir sakiau, taip pat planuojame su kitomis Baltijos šalimis Lietuvos paruoštą pozicijos dokumentą finalizuoti ir tikėtina pateikti kaip bendrą. Taip pat palaikysime bet kokius papildomus pajėgumus ir laukiame artimiausių metų atsakymo dėl papildomų pajėgumų sensorių srityje gavimo taip pat. Dėkui.
One last very quick one.
I'm from South Korean press, KBS. Something to ask you, sir, Defense Minister of Lithuania. Nowadays, Korean people are seeing situations in Europe very carefully in terms of military actions, especially German troops in Lithuania. So my translator will give you my question instead in Lithuanian language. It's a little bit difficult for me to, give the question in English.
Labadiena. Saugumo situacija su dronais yra sudėtinga. Ar Vokietijos kariuomenės buvimas Lietuvoje yra pakanka atgrasymo priemonė prieš Rusiją?
Jeigu kalbame apie oro gynybą, tai iš tiesų yra viso alijanso pastangos. Visų pirma, tai pati Lietuva nacionalinių lygmenių yra ėmusis nemažai priemonių nuo mobilių oro gynybos vienetų dislokavimo pasienyje iki tam tikros oro erdvės apribojimo, taip pat sisteminių priemonių, kurios įgalins mus žaibiškai uždaryti oro erdvės koridorius, kad galėtumėm naikinti taikinius. Šalia to mes vykdome savo nacionalinius įsigijimus ir taip pat vykdome tam tikrus mokymus ir jų dar turėsime ženkliai ateityje. Tačiau, kai kalbame apie bendrą reagavimą, tai tiek Jungtinių Amerikos valstijų pajėgų buvimas Lietuvoje, tiek Vokietijos sąjungininkų buvimas Lietuvoje prisideda prie atgrasimo. Taip, mes esame pasienyje, tai yra tikrai jautri zona ir nebejoju, kad jūs tikrai labai gerai suprantate, ką reiškia būti labai nesmagaus kaimyno pašonėje ir imtis papildomų karinių priemonių. Tačiau alijanso kontekste, kaip matote, mes reaguojame visi kartu su kitais sąjungininkais taip pat. Tai yra, į orą kyla vengrų naikintuvai, ispanų naikintuvai, taip pat ir iš Estijos bazės atskrenda ir kiti partneriai. Mes turime bendrą reagavimo mechanizmą ir šioje oro erdvėje, naudodamėsi bendrą informaciją, bendrą žvalgybinę informaciją ir mūsų sutelktiniais kolektyviniais pajėgumais, vykdome padidinto budrumo veiklą ir jinai tęsis ateityje.
All right. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, General. Thank you, General. Thank you, everyone.